We don't fall in love with people as they are. We fall in love with the idea of who they might become. We fall in love with glimpses, with moments, with almosts, with that version of them that shows up once in a while and makes us believe this is the real them. And once that belief takes hold, reality quietly loses the battle. Potential feels powerful because it speaks to hope. It tells us that the story isn't finished yet, that the flaws we see are temporary, that the inconsistency has an explanation, that the pain has a purpose. When we fall for potential, we're not just loving another person, we're loving a future we imagine with them, one where everything finally makes sense. Reality, on the other hand, is uncomfortably honest. Reality shows us patterns, not promises. It shows us effort, not intention. And that can be hard to accept, because reality doesn't negotiate. It doesn't improve just because we believe in it hard enough. We tell ourselves that love is about patience, understanding, and standing by someone while they grow. We start carrying the relationship on our back, believing that if we just love harder, wait longer, or explain ourselves better, things will change. One reason we fall for potential is because it allows us to feel needed. Being the person who sees someone's hidden greatness can feel meaningful. It feeds our sense of purpose. We believe we are special because we see something in them that others don't. If they don't, it feels like we failed. There's also comfort in potential. As strange as it sounds, uncertainty can feel safer than clarity. Reality sometimes forces us to make difficult decisions, to stay or leave, to accept or walk away. Potential lets us postpone those decisions. It allows us to live in not yet ready, not yet healed, not yet stable, not yet the right time. And so we wait, because waiting feels easier than grieving what is already showing us the truth. Our past plays a role in this too. Many people learn early in life to love people for who they could be, not who they are. Growing up around emotionally unavailable or inconsistent caregivers teaches us to chase moments of warmth and ignore long stretches of absence. We learn to survive by focusing on the good and minimizing the bad. As adults, we call this love, but often it's just familiarity wearing a new face. Potential also keeps us emotionally invested because of something called sunk cost. More time, energy, and emotion. We invest in someone, a relationship, or even a friendship. The harder it becomes to walk away. We tell ourselves that leaving now would mean all of that effort was wasted, so we stay, hoping the payoff is just around the corner. But time invested does not guarantee a return, especially when the other person isn't investing back in the same way. Another reason potential is so seductive is because people often show it at the beginning. In the early stages, effort is key. Attention is strong. Words are generous. We see the best version of someone when there is something to gain. When that version fades, we assume it's temporary. We believe stress, fear, or circumstances are to blame. We keep waiting for the beginning to come back, not realizing the beginnings are not foundations. Reality is not about what someone says they want. It's about what they consistently choose. It's about whether they show up without being chased, whether they listen without getting defensive, whether they take responsibility without being forced. Potential talks about change. Reality either does or doesn't. We often fall for potential because we confuse empathy with obligation. We understand someone's wounds, their past, their struggles, and we believe that understanding means staying. Someone's pain explains their behavior, but it does not excuse the impact it has on us. There's also fear underneath all of this. Fear of starting over. Fear of being alone. Fear that this is the best we'll ever get. Potential whispers that leaving is premature, that we're giving up too soon, that if we just hold on a little longer, everything will finally align. Fear listens, because fear hates endings more than it hates disappointment. What makes potential especially dangerous is that it often looks responsible. It sounds mature. No one is perfect. Relationships take work. People grow at their own pace. All of these are true statements, but they become harmful when they are used to justify staying in situations where our needs are consistently unmet. Growth should not come at the cost of our emotional safety. When we prioritize potential over reality, we start negotiating with ourselves. We lower standards quietly. We stop asking for what we need directly. We accept half effort and call it progress. We begin to feel guilty for wanting more, even when more is reasonable. Slowly, we disappear from our own lives, waiting for someone else to arrive in theirs. Reality doesn't require interpretation. It doesn't require decoding texts, reading between lines, or guessing intentions. Reality is visible in patterns. If they are capable of meeting you where you are, you won't feel like you're constantly explaining why you matter. Falling for potential also keeps us future-focused in a way that steals the present. We tell ourselves happiness is coming later after. They change, after things settle, after the next promise is fulfilled. But later is not guaranteed. And while we wait, life continues. Opportunities pass. Joy gets postponed. We age inside a maybe. Letting go of potential feels like loss, because it is. We're not just letting go of a person. We're letting go of a dream. But staying stuck in grief while someone stays the same only deepens the wound. The truth is people do change, but only when they choose to, not when they are loved enough. Love is not it cannot force growth, healing, or accountability. Someone can care deeply and still be unable or unwilling to meet you where you are. And that doesn't make them evil, but it does make them incompatible with the life you deserve. Reality asks a hard question. If nothing changed, could you live like this? Not for a month, not for a year, but long term. Most people avoid answering this honestly because they already know the answer, and it scares them. Choosing reality over potential doesn't mean you stop believing in people. It means you stop abandoning yourself. It means you understand that love should feel stable, not constantly uncertain. That effort should be mutual, not begged for. That connection should bring peace, not chronic anxiety. There's a quiet strength in accepting reality. It hurts at first because it strips away illusion. But it also brings relief. Relief from waiting, from hoping, from explaining, from carrying something that was never meant to be carried alone. When you start choosing reality, you start choosing yourself. You begin to value consistency over intensity. You look for alignment, not chemistry alone. You understand that love is not about who someone could be, but about who they are willing to be every day. Potential is beautiful, but it is not a promise. Reality is not always exciting, but it is honest. It's built on what is happening now. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is stop waiting for someone to become the person you need, and give yourself permission to find or become someone who already is. Thanks for watching.